Hello, this is Jamie Magritte. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'd like to show you how I made this card. Okay. And what we're going to need, we're going to have a 1/2 inch strip of white to stamp our sentiment on. I've already cut them out just for the sake of time, but I've got 2 of the Sprig Punch out of Basic Gray and 2 out of Smoky Slate. I have the largest of the stitched ovals and the largest of the layering ovals. The stitched one is out of white and the layering one is out of Basic Gray. I have a Smoky Slate layer which is 4 by 5 1/4, and a piece of Basic Gray which is 4 1/4 by 5 3/8. Then I have my thick Whisper White which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored and folded at 4 1/4. We're going to be using a Special Someone, which is out of the new mini catalog for 2019-2020. And we are going to be using the birch background stamp. So let's get started. Let's put everything aside that we don't need right away. The first thing we're going to do is stamp on this Basic Gray, the Smoky Slate layer with the birch background. And Basic Gray ink. We're also going to need Real Red and Memento, and then I've got 2 Stampin' Right markers, black and the Real Red. Okay, so let's just get started here. We're going to stamp up or ink up this background. I just leave mine right in the attached to the case, unless I need to do something larger. And I'm going to curve it like that. Set it down. Once it's set down, I'm put my finger on it, let go of it. Bring in a piece of scratch paper without letting the piece move. Just going to rub gently over the back of it. Okay. Pick that up. Perfect. Okay. Bring in my chamois. Lay that on it. Pick up most of that extra ink. There's a couple spots where you just need to rub it off. And there we go. Done with that. The chamois away. Okay, now we're going to bring in this oval, the stitched one. Again, it's the largest of the stitched ovals. We're going to bring in the detailed of the raccoon and the Memento ink pad. Make sure it's inked up well. And a little bit from the bottom, maybe a 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch. I'm going to stamp this raccoon. Perfect. Now you could leave it like that. It's really cute. In fact, maybe this one I will leave it like that. But there is a layer to color him in. And I did do that with the Basic Gray. But I think this time I'm going to bring in a scratch paper and stamp it off. Because you'll see on this one, he's a little bit dark. He's cute, but let's see what he looks like if we stamp it off first. We'll try that. Stamp it off. And bring it over to our piece and line it up. The areas around the eyes is where you'll be looking to line up first, and then make sure your edges are straight. And stamp it down. I'm not sure he's perfectly straight, but oh, much better. I like that better. Okay. Then there is a outline for, bring the stamp set, it's probably easier to show you on there. There's a heart balloon, so we're going to be using both pieces for the heart balloon and the little string for it. So we've got the 2 pieces of the raccoon we've used already. Alright, so we're going to ink up the balloon with the basic gray. We're going to put it above his head, still within that circle though. Okay, now we're going to bring in the tail of the balloon, and we're only going to ink up the tip of it because it's right over his head. So we're just going to bring it in like this so you can see. I'm just going to ink up the tip of it so I can get the knot of the balloon. Don't want the rest of it. So if you want to mask off the raccoon, just put a paper over it. Okay, it went a little bit high, but that's alright, it'll still work. Okay, then we're going to bring in the other part of the balloon in the real red. I'm going to ink that up, and we're going to fill in that balloon. Okay. Done with, well, we need that still. We're done with the gray. Okay. While we have the ink out, we're going to bring in that strip. Now this one's a little bit narrower. This one was like 3/4 of an inch. This is a 1/2 inch. We're going to bring in the sentiments, and the one is, this balloon is special ... It's going to get stamped with the real red on this strip here. I apologize for all the noise, but my husband's home. He'll go back to work on the 20th. I try to squeeze it in. He's quiet, 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 and then I try to do a video and he gets loud, so I'm just going to play along with it. Alright, so we're done with the ink. Now we can assemble our card. Alright, what did I do with the rest of the pieces over here? Okay. So we're going to adhere the gray granite piece to the base layer, and it's a little bit large. I forgot to trim it down. So I'm actually going to bring in my mini trimmer here. It's perfect for this kind of thing. And I'm going to take a 1/4 of an inch off. 1/8 of an inch off. On this side I'm just kind of guessing. The other thing to do is bring in this piece, put it over the top of it, and then we can use that to measure with. Make sure it's straight, hold it down with the little handle there, and trim. Actually, I might trim this a little tiny bit. Just a little tiny bit. Let me get just so I have the right size layer. Perfect. Okay, and you'll see I just trimmed tiniest little bits off. those away. Trimmer away. Let's adhere these together. Okay, bring in the Tombow Mono. Glue on the back. Center it up on the front of the card. There's going to be just a tiniest little border. Okay, now let's glue this piece on. The only layer is a popped up part is the sentiment. Glue that on. I think I want the bigger piece at the top. Okay, let's bring in this piece. Bring in our markers. And I'm going to use the little end, color in where that little knot, the knot part of the bloom is. I'm going to bring in the fine tip of the black marker, and I'm going to take this string, and I'm going to draw it behind him. And I want the string to look like it's in his hand, so I'm going to curve it around like this. And then down in front of him. Okay. You probably could have done it with the stamp. See how I did that? Alright, then I'm going to adhere this to our gray layer. Okay, put some glue on the back of that. So place that in the center of the card, but up from the bottom just a little bit. Bring in these. And I want one dark one and one light one on each side. I'm just going to turn it over, and I'm just going to put a dot of glue at the base of each. It's actually probably more than I need. Okay, and I'm going to put two on this side. Overlap them a little bit at the bottom, two on this side. Okay, then I'm going to bring my sentiment in, and I'm going to bring in the tailored tag punch. Whoops, wrong direction. There you go. I'm just going to bring it in, put it in till I can see the sentiment I stamped, and pull it out. Make sure it's centered in there. Oh, I'm shaking tonight. Punch it. Turn it around. I'm going to snip it off a little bit shorter. It gives me a perfect little banner. Bring in the dimensionals. Just need a couple on the back of this. I'm going to use 3 because I don't like it to sag. And I'm going to put that right down here, hiding the bottoms of those a little bit over towards the right side. Okay. And I'm also going to take that black marker, the fine tip. I'm just going to darken those eyes just a tiny little bit. And a little tiny bit on that tip of his nose. Okay. I'm going to open it up. And I'm going to take the red. I'm going to stamp the balloon. And I'm going to take the other part of the sentiment for a very special someone. This block is one that would come in the kits or in your paper pumpkin, the first one you get. Okay, we're done with the red. Let's bring in the basic gray and the other part of the balloon. Let's line that up, stamp it. That's a little bit off, but it's alright. I have a little tiny piece of Post-it note, just a little strip. I'm going to put it over my sentiment. And I'm going to bring the string for the balloon in. This time I'm going to stamp the whole thing. And I'm going to attach it to the bottom of my balloon. Awesome. Pull off the strip. Color in that little tail of the balloon. There you go. There's our card. Here's the one I did previous with the darker. This one I didn't stamp off. This one I did. Well, thank you for joining me at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I hope you can find some time to play with some stamps, inks, and paper.